everybody. Today we're going to be making a fire roasted poblano bisque with roasted corn salsa. All right, first of all we're going to start with, we have 5 poblanos and we're just going to start the burner here. We're going to do it on medium high. We just want to char the poblanos, and then we also want to get a nice char on the corn. So I have 5 good sized poblanos. I didn't put anything on it. I just want to get the skin nice and charred, and then I want to be able to get the pulp from it. So we're going to use all the burners, and we're just going to char them. But at the same time, we're also going to roast the corn. So the corn is going to be our the salsa. We are going to use some cloves. The cloves we're actually not going to char. We're just going to use it in our mix. So this is a really good. It smells really good once it starts charring. I remember when I was a kid, my mom making this. She would roast the poblanos to make salsas and different sauces. So I remember this a lot. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of some color here. And this pepper doesn't take very long. So on the corn, it only takes about 5 minutes. You're starting to get that char on it. It's pretty much almost there cooked. I just want to leave it just a few more seconds, about 30 more seconds. Now another way that you could do is you could also put these in the oven and roast them. You could also roast them in the grill, however you feel comfortable. I think this is good for what we're doing. All right, so our corn is looking pretty good. It is getting soft. Starting to get soft, but it's also cooking. Looks like the corn is ready. I'm gonna set the corn aside. Okay, so now once you start getting a little bit of color, a little bit of char on all of the pepper, I'm just gonna put it to a side. And then what I'm gonna do is once they're all charred, I'm gonna put them in this bowl. And then I'm going to cover it with plastic, and actually the steam from the peppers, from the heat of the peppers, the skin should just come right off. So we're just going to wait until the rest of these peppers are done. So I constantly turning them. If you do them in the oven, all you have to do is just throw them on a pan. I would just add just a little bit of oil, just so they don't stick to the pan, and you just turn them from one side to the other. On this one, since we're fire roasting them, we just want to make sure that we get char on all of the sides. Now you just want to char the skin. You don't want to burn the pepper. You don't want to completely cook the pepper. You just want to get a nice char on the outside where it just starts blistering, so that the skin, there's a layer of silky skin there on the outside that we want to get rid of there. You just want to use the pulp. We're going to remove the seeds, the inside, the stem, the seeds. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Just going to lay it right in there. Okay, this one looks good. Throw it right in there. Move this one down. All right, so we have our peppers are nice and charred. We have our corn, it's nice and charred. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover it with plastic wrap. As you can see, there's some steam that's already cut up in there. What's going to happen is the skin is going to kind of release from the steam, and we're just going to let these steam by themselves for about a good 10-15 minutes. All right, so now since we have our corn nice and charred, it's nice and soft and cooked, we're just going to take the corn right off the cob. Just sliding our knife down. This is going to be our corn salsa, roasted corn salsa. Just slide our knife. So we got a bunch of cilantro, nice bunch. They usually come in this size. We're actually going to use the whole thing. We're going to use partial of this on the corn salsa and partial of it on the soup. So what I like to do is I like to use the stems as well as the leaves. So what we're going to do, since it's already nice and tied up, we're just going to go nice fine chop, about that much. That's maybe a tablespoon. Then we're going to go in on the top, and we're actually going to take some of the leaves with the stem, and that is about 2 tablespoons there. Put this back in the water. If you get some leaves in there that are not all the way cut, that's okay. We like the rustic look of that. We're going to take this lime, cut that in half, we'll squeeze that in. We got some tomatoes. Take about 10 tomatoes. We got some red ones, we got some yellow ones, got some orange ones. We're going to quarter those. Smells really good from the lime. Okay, about 10 tomatoes. We take about, get a small red onion. Take about a quarter of it. We're going to take the skin off. We're going to just do a small dice. Make sure that they're all the same size. In there. Okay, so we have our corn, roasted corn. We're going to add a half of lime. We'll squeeze it in there. About a tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to do salt and pepper to taste. Colors. We get some corn, we get some tomatoes, some onions, some cilantro. You can throw a clove of garlic in there. We do have some garlic. We'll throw 1 clove in there. If you have a just gonna mince this really. Okay. Cut it thin. Just gonna mince it up. We are going to use garlic for the soup. so we got our minced garlic. That goes in there. So we're gonna wrap it up in plastic and we're gonna actually put it aside. That's gonna go in the refrigerator. Let it kind of, let all the flavors get together there. Okay, now we're gonna be working with our soup. So we let the peppers steam. Take them out one by one. We're actually going to need the plastic. And we're going to, you can wear gloves if you're, if it has some, the peppers have some heat, it will affect your hands. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove the seeds. And you're going to remove the skin. You're not going to get all the seeds and skin, so try to remove as much as you can. So moving all the skin off, all the skin just comes right off because from the steam that we put the plastic in there. And we're just going to take the seeds. If some of the seeds get put in the bowl, it's okay because this whole mixture is going to be pureed. I'm going to break the seeds down, but if you do get too many seeds in there, it does get a little bit bitter and you don't want it to be bitter, so you want to try to get as many as you can. I know a lot of people try the clean peppers and they do it underwater. I don't like to do it underwater because it removes a lot of the flavor. You want to make sure that you try to do it by hand, not under running water. All right, so now we're going to take our roasted peppers. We're going to put them in to the blender. We got so we got 5 roasted poblanos in there. We took the seeds, the skin off. We have 4 cloves of garlic. I have 2 cups of vegetable broth that we need to dissolve here. We have, I'm going to use all my cilantro. I really like the taste of cilantro. We're going to stick that in there. And then we're going to slowly puree it. So we're going to start really easy. And then we're going to put the vegetable broth. You can use chicken stock if you'd like. So we're going to make this vegetarian. Got a little of the vegetable stock still in there. We're just going to use a little bit more water and finish that off. Okay. Put our lid back on there. Slowly start adding the steam. So we pureed the peppers, the garlic. What I like to do is, so I have a pan on simmering on low heat. We're going to add our pepper mixture with our broth. We're going to strain it. It's okay if not all of it gets strained. I just want to get most of the pulp out. So I just want to make sure that, because you do have some pulp that if you don't get most of it out, it won't be gritty. Cook. We're going to add about a half a cup of cream. It's about half, almost a cup there. We're going to mix it together. And we're just going to let it cook for about 20 minutes to half an hour. And all we're going to do is just want to reduce it, let it thicken up a little bit. Taste it. We need to add salt and pepper. You do have a little bit of salt from the base, from the vegetable base, if you want to. So we're gonna let this cook down. We're gonna actually let it reduce for about half an hour. Let it cook down. At this point, if you wanted to add a little bit more garlic, you could. If you wanted to crush some garlic and add some more garlic, some cumin powder, some cumin seed. If you really enjoy that taste, go ahead, by all means add it. But I think it's fine the way it is. All right, so this is cooking down. It is thickening up. It'll just thicken by itself. If you don't have time to let it cook down all the way, you could either thicken it with just a little bit of roux or a little cornstarch. If you want, once in a while, you want to skim off any of the impurities on the top, you're more than welcome to. I feel that this is looks pretty good to me. It's got a nice color. I've already adjusted the seasoning, salt and pepper. You could add extra garlic, you could add cumin if you'd like. What I'll do is at the end I'll add a little bit of olive oil and maybe some lime juice to it. Alright, so I don't know if you can see from here, but our soup is thickening now. It's been cooking for about 25 minutes. And it's thickening nice and nice. I think we're there. We're just going to our soup. It's nice and thick. Put it in our bowl. There. We're going to garnish it with chilies. So here's my soup. Nice and warm and comfy, comfort food. Get some nice heat from the peppers. This is vegetarian. We used vegetable oil. The roasted corn adds a little roast to that. Very nice. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. See you later. Thanks for watching.